of all Shockwave's destructive creations and designs, of which they are legion, the black hole grenade packs the greatest catastrophic punch per inch. Watching my enemies dematerialize into an infinite array of particulate before being wrenched through a tear in the fabric of space and time. Well, that's just good weaponry. For a time, all voices that registered in my audio spectrum seemed shouts. Whether the orders barked from my superiors while I mined for energon in the tunnels, or the shrill screams of condemnation from the self-righteous cogged bots. Through this clattering din, a measured voice of reason and friendship distinguished itself as worthy of my attention. The voice belonged to a fellow miner, a red and blue rebel named Orion Pax, so selfishly and blindly optimistic that I almost dismissed him as a friend. At times of insolence, I had to restrain my instinct to simply abandon him, like just another of the thousands that had fallen prey to being trapped in the mines. But to do so I knew would be a mistake. I knew then that before being destroyed at my hand, this Orion Pax, who calls himself Optimus Prime, must be made to unwittingly serve my cause. Optimus Prime, a helplessly hopeful miner with true resilience, traveling in his mortal coils. As our conflict winds down, and the final Decepticon triumph approaches, I carry with me a feeling of what might be called nostalgia. Optimus, my false brother, has on many occasions put forth the idea that he and I have remained allied and achieved a measure of greatness together. It is true that Optimus played a necessary role in the downfall of the status quo. With hopes of finding the matrix of leadership, we journeyed to the surface of Cybertron after several of his escapades to the archives. And in some perverse way, because of his blind optimism, we discovered the truth about our home and received the power to transform from Alpha Trion, one which we would have never obtained otherwise. So, in this limited way, we were a team. For a moment, perhaps. What seems like nothing more than a nanoclick now, I felt that this faux data clerk may in fact have been forged with alloy strong enough to be my true brother-in-arms. But this appearance of boldness revealed itself to be simple cowardice. When the time came to finally destroy the betrayer Sentinel Prime, who begged for his life at my hand, a true brother would have stayed out of the way and let justice finally prevail. Instead, Optimus Prime, whose greatness was limited to the all-important field of library science and energon mining, banished me and the High Guard from the great city of Iacon. In so doing, he fired the very first shot that ignited the very same great war he claims to despise. Today, Soundwave intercepted what the Autobots are calling a general evacuation order. Does Optimus believe that we will be the solution to the problems that currently plague Cybertron? Death is the only solution to all problems. No Autobots, no problems. Trypticon failed me in spectacular fashion. I considered the transgression to be unforgivable. That is, until my brilliant and compassionate intellect realized that there was in fact a penance worthy enough to compensate for Trypticon's failings. We are in need of a spacecraft large enough to transport several dozen battle groups. Trypticon is no longer in need of his body. I see an elegant calculus in the making. Shockwave, I am most impressed by your research at the Sea of Rust Tower. You are hereby ordered to continue your tests. If your theory is correct, then we shall be able to pull under other worlds for Energon for ages to come. Shockwave's discovery of this primitive world has become my obsession, as it has long been his. A journey to the planet will be long and precarious. It is true great reserves of Energon exist there, but without aid the journey would be impossible. It's a radical idea, but with the appropriate modifications, Shockwave's tower could remotely extract all of its Energon, bleeding the planet dry from millions of star cycles away. Shockwave, all effort must now be focused on remote extraction of the target planet's Energon reserves. Your calculations inspire sufficient confidence that such a plan is not only possible, but probable. Such an influx of raw Energon right here on Cybertron will not only provide the sufficient means of destroying Optimus and his Autobots once and for all, but also fuel the rebirth of our great empire. This is no longer an aspiration. It must be made a reality.